Let me describe a video you've definitely seen before. A guy who looks like he's 26 but has the energy of someone who just discovered espresso is standing in front of a rented Lamborghini or a laptop on a beach, or occasionally both, telling you that the reason you're broke is because you're still trading time for money. He's going to show you how to build passive income streams that work while you sleep, while you travel, while you do literally nothing, because that's what separates the wealthy from everyone else. Financial freedom, time freedom, location freedom, all available to you for the low price of a $997 course, or a free webinar that ends with a $997 course, or a free YouTube video that exists entirely to funnel you toward a $997 course. And the reason this video exists, the reason you are watching someone stand in front of a car they rented by the hour to tell you about financial freedom, is because passive income content is one of the most watched, most searched, and most monetized categories on the entire internet. There are channels with millions of subscribers built entirely around the concept. There are influencers whose full-time job is telling you how to stop having a full-time job. There are masterclasses, boot camps, communities, and coaching programs all selling variations of the same dream. And the dream is real. Passive income is real. People do build income streams that generate money without constant active effort. That part is true. What is also true, and what nobody in the passive income industrial complex will ever put in a thumbnail, is the math, the actual numbers, the failure rates, the time investment, the capital required, and the deeply uncomfortable reality that for most people the most reliable passive income stream in the entire ecosystem is selling other people on the idea of passive income. So today we are going to do what the gurus never do. We are going to look at the numbers. Let's start with the most popular passive income idea on the internet right now: selling digital products. Courses, templates, ebooks, presets, whatever. The pitch is beautiful in its simplicity. You create something once, you sell it forever. Zero inventory, zero shipping, near zero marginal cost, pure passive income while you sleep. And technically, structurally, mechanically, this is correct. A digital product can generate revenue without you actively working on it every day. That part is not a lie. Here's the part that is at minimum a dramatic omission. In 2023, a study analyzing over 100,000 online courses across major platforms found that the median course made less than $500 in total lifetime revenue. Not per month. Total. Ever. And that's before subtracting platform fees, payment processing, advertising costs, and the time investment of actually creating the course. The top 10% of course creators made roughly 90% of all course revenue. The bottom 50% made essentially nothing. This is not a market where average performers do okay. This is a winner-take-all market where the winners are predominantly people who got there early, had existing audiences, or were selling courses about how to sell courses. The content creating the most passive income in the course industry is content about creating passive income in the course industry. Read that sentence again. Now let's talk about dropshipping, because no passive income conversation is complete without it. Dropshipping is the business model where you set up an online store, list products from a third-party supplier, and when a customer orders something, the supplier ships it directly to them. You never touch the inventory, you never handle the fulfillment, you just collect the margin between what the customer paid you and what you paid the supplier. On paper, this is elegant. In practice, the data is brutal. Industry analyses consistently show that somewhere between 10 and 20% of dropshipping businesses turn a profit at all. And of those that do, the margins are typically 10 to 30% before advertising. Because here is the problem nobody mentions in the thumbnail: you have no product differentiation. You are selling the same items from the same suppliers as thousands of other dropshipping stores. The only way to get customers is to buy them through paid advertising. And the cost of paid advertising on Meta and Google has increased dramatically as more and more people flooded into the same space selling the same products. The math that worked in 2017 when the gurus filmed their tutorials does not work in 2026. The market has caught up, but the tutorials are still selling. And then there is real estate. which is the one passive income stream that has genuine long-term credibility and also the most dishonest marketing. Because real estate investment is real, rental income is real, property appreciation is real and historically significant. But passive? A landlord who tells you, owning rental property is passive income has either never had a tenant or has a property manager. They're paying 8 to 12% of gross rent to handle everything, in which case, congratulations, you just outsourced the passivity and compressed your margins. Toilets break at 2 a.m., tenants stop paying, vacancies happen, insurance goes up, property taxes go up, the roof needs replacing. Owning rental property is a business. It is a legitimate, potentially very profitable business, but it is not passive. It is just a business where the asset is a building instead of a product. The passive income version of real estate that gets sold online is real estate investment trusts, or REITs, which are essentially stocks in companies that own real estate. You buy shares, you collect dividends, and this is genuinely pretty close to passive. But the returns on REITs are publicly available, boring, and not particularly dramatic. They're roughly in line with broad stock market returns over long periods, which means a REIT is basically just an index fund that owns buildings, which is fine. It's actually a reasonable investment. But it doesn't make for a compelling YouTube thumbnail, which is why the REIT conversation gets approximately 1% of the attention of the dropshipping conversation, despite being significantly more accessible, more diversified, and more honest about what it actually is. Now let's talk about dividend investing, because dividend investing is the passive income strategy that sounds the most credible, has the longest track record, and also requires the most capital to be meaningful in a way that nobody ever leads with. Dividend investing means buying stocks that pay regular dividends, companies that distribute a portion of their profits to shareholders. This is real. Companies like Johnson & Johnson, Coca-Cola, and Procter & Gamble have paid and grown their dividends for decades, and if you hold enough of these stocks, the dividend income can be genuinely meaningful. Here is the math that disappears from every dividend investing video. The average dividend yield on a well-constructed dividend portfolio is roughly 3 to 4% annually, which means to generate $1,000 per month in dividend income, $12,000 per year, you need approximately $300,000 to $400,000 invested. To replace a $50,000 salary entirely through dividends, you need somewhere between $1.25 million and $1.7 million in invested capital. These are not impossible numbers. For people who are already wealthy, dividend investing is a legitimate and relatively low-stress way to generate income from existing capital. But for a 24-year-old watching passive income YouTube at midnight, the question of how to accumulate $1.5 million before the passive income starts is receiving approximately zero screen time. And this brings us to the core of the problem. Because passive income is not a lie, it is a real concept that describes how people who have already built or accumulated something can generate returns from that thing without continuous active effort. Capital generates returns. Intellectual property generates royalties. Systems generate revenue. But every single one of these requires either significant capital, significant time, significant skill, or all three before the passive part begins. The passivity is the end state of an active process. It is the reward for something that was genuinely hard, and the marketing has systematically stripped away the hard part and sold you the reward as if it were the starting point. The guru standing in front of the Lamborghini is not lying when he says passive income changed his life. He is being selective about which passive income stream actually changed it. Because in almost every documented case of a prominent passive income influencer, the income stream that actually generates the significant money is the audience itself. The YouTube ad revenue, the course sales, the affiliate commissions, the sponsorships, the coaching programs. The very content about passive income is the active income source that funds the lifestyle being used to sell you on passive income. It is a perfect self-referential machine. And it only works as long as enough people believe the dream is accessible to them in the form being advertised. The real passive income playbook, the one that actually works, is aggressively boring. Maximize your active income through skills and career development. Live below your means for an extended period of time. Invest the difference consistently into diversified, low-cost index funds. Reinvest dividends. Wait. Repeat for 15 to 20 years. Let compound interest do the work it was always going to do. At the end of that process, you will have a portfolio that generates genuinely passive income at a scale that matters. And the whole thing will have cost you $0 in course fees, 0 hours watching webinars, and 0 minutes of your life standing in front of a rented car pretending the journey was anything other than what it actually was. That story is true, it works, and it has approximately 0 views on YouTube. Because you cannot sell patience, you cannot monetize discipline, and you cannot build an audience around telling people that the thing they want requires a decade of doing something that is not exciting. So instead, the algorithm rewards the Lamborghini, the beach laptop, the $997 course, the dream. And the dream keeps selling because the alternative, the boring, slow, reliable truth, doesn't make for a good thumbnail, but it does make for a good retirement.